Welcome back to the Real Men of Real Estate on KCAA Radio. You can find us on your dial three places at 106.5 FM, 102.3 FM, and 1050 AM. So Jared and I have been talking about kind of what's going on here and how this is a huge turning point in the market, especially for San Diego. We don't know where it's going to end up, other than it's going to go up, is what we think. And so you got to have a plan. Anytime you're getting into something like this, it sounds good. You got to know why you're doing it, how you're doing it. So how do you advise people to get started with their plan, Jared?
Absolutely. So where we left off, and if you're just joining us, I think the most important thing of the plan is to not look at it in a vacuum or a snippet of time. I think people make the mistake all the time, or even going to a lender, and a lender unfortunately make the mistake of saying, this is what you're pre-approved for, or this is what your income is. Well, that's kind of rubbish to me if there's a lifestyle event or something, a life change that's going to be happening very soon. If someone were to come to me like, hey, we're dual income, but we're also 7 months pregnant,
that's a huge change.
There's going to be some change happening.
And not just diapers, right?
Yeah, and not just poopy diapers, right? And so I think may seem like an extreme example, but what if the flip side? What if it's I'm engaged and I'm getting married, and someone's just going to advise you on buying a house as if you're single? Like, that's just inappropriate to do.
Right. Or you could have a big inheritance coming, or taking a job across the country, anything.
Or I think just even order of operations too. If a single person, we'll go back to the VA because I love the example of investing. If a single active duty person comes to me 24 years old and didn't buy the big truck, didn't buy the motorcycle, has no debt, and says, I've had some quals and I'm on my E5 at this point, even on the listed side, I'm going to tell that person order of operations is you buy the investment property first. You don't buy the granite countertops and the shaker cabinets and the hard floors. You buy that fourplex and you let other people pay your bills.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I think that's missed a lot if you don't have the conversation, or there isn't someone there to lead that conversation. Because if you ask me today how to do something that I don't know how to do, why would I not just take the easiest way on how to do that?
Right.
And I think too often, realtors and our lenders don't know how to have that conversation appropriately. The media sure as hell doesn't.
Oh gosh, no. Their motives are completely different.
No clue how to do it. But I think it's appropriate to have someone that you trust that is going to lead that conversation. And Dan, you certainly have a following and a ton of people that are looking at you, and even you doing it yourself. You're doing it yourself, right? And I think that's I'm at ground zero. That's why I'm not sitting at the boardroom table,
right,
in the C-level suite, because I think right now is a land of opportunity. And one of the big things in that is the market, right? So the market shift, but some of the things that aren't being talked about, new household formations. When just again, the empirical data of supply and demand says there are going to be more people. There are more people born,
right? And millennials are coming.
More even delayed, what are called household formations, meaning a non-transient or the 26-year-old that still lives with their parents isn't going to live with their parent anymore. They're going to buy a house and form a new household, or become a renter and form a new household. Unfortunately, we are not keeping up with building in those.
Oh yeah. No, it's been what, 10 or 12 years of a massive building shortage at least.
Huge building shortage.
Yeah.
And even the building shortage isn't being built. I mean, the buildings that are happening are even rentals, and or they're in the luxury environment, which is reasonable for the builder. Why would you not, if it's going to cost you about the same amount to build a $700,000 house versus a $1.2 million house?
Right.
I'm taking that profit, baby, and going home.
Oh yeah. Well, down in City Heights, North Park boundary, all you got to do is move over a couple of blocks, and the difference is beyond measurable. It's so obvious. Yeah.
So we can shove fiscal or governmental policy and affordable housing and all this stuff down the builders' throats, but it's not going to work until you ease up regulations and you allow the real supply and demand to equalize naturally. I'm all about having a safety net. I think that's a very important
Hmm.
for for us in the United States of America to have a safety net for people and to protect marginalized classes. Like we don't need to get in the political environment and talk about that, but I really think that if we ease some stuff up and just didn't make it as such a burden to build in some places, that we would see a different
Yeah,
a
I
different
feel like we could do something about this. Yeah.
yeah. So
I, I'm not sure what that's going to take. I think that the pressure is coming though, and it certainly feels like with everything building up on the West Coast and the military shifting their focus, we're going to see a lot of pressure to accompany the millennials and Gen Z.
yeah, those new household formations, absolutely. And making that plan and moving into a place that makes sense has to be done at the government level, has to be done by local business people, and it certainly has to be done at an individual level.
Hmm.
Uh, so very, very, very important to just stay tuned, to not put your head in the sand, to listen to the things that Dan's saying and the guests that are coming onto this show, and making an opinion. Doesn't mean you're necessarily going to be right or even wrong. And I think that's a world that we get ourselves caught up into, where we have only a dualistic view of right or wrong. This
Yeah.
is different for a lot of people, but that you dig into your story, and I hope that includes getting part of the Southern California real estate uh, purchase, own a piece of this country, um, and we'll fight the rest. We'll fight those other things, and those things can be fought that we just talked about, and the policies and the pieces are getting shifted. I mean, the SB 9 and 10 that
Hmm.
came through are going to open up a lot of doors um, for building and for homes to be created. I really just hope we don't kind of go the other way as people try and find avenues and loopholes in those systems, that we approach those appropriately.
Hmm.
And we say, why are they trying to find this loophole? Well, it could be for profit, and that's fair, but it also could be because they're trying to build what the demand wants. And
Right.
there is just a shortage of housing.
Absolutely. Well, and yeah, those laws go far and wide past what people think. And, the commercial properties that are or regulations that are in there for commercial properties, you can build almost as many units as you want, and those are going to have the appropriate water supplies, sewer, electrical already to them, in a lot of cases. So your costs are lower there. I mean, that's what torpedoed the last one I was looking at in Serra Mesa there on Murray Ridge when the cost for the sewer, water, and electrical upgrade. Um, Put the budget $200,000 over, and I couldn't make it up, so I had to drop out.
Yeah.
So I'm super excited to see what folks do as they start to understand what's going there, and especially because a lot of the commercial properties aren't being used the same way anymore. It's the highest and best use.
Yep.
Like,
Absolutely. And again, this is being um, very in San Diego. We're seeing it happen exponentially because of the amount of people that are going here. I mean, in California, people can talk about people moving out all day long. People are moving
yeah.
here faster than moving out.
Well, and
Uh,
check out the UCSD study on that debunks it completely.
yeah, and the people moving in here, very good jobs. The biotech
Yeah.
that's happening in Southern
Hmm.
California,
It's
the
huge.
technology companies, the military Pac West coming to San
Yep.
Diego. Uh, Man, there's so much that really sets up a very diverse GDP
Hmm.
in Southern California, specifically San Diego. So to the
Yep.
flyover states into Texas and the people who want to live life with their blinders on, that's fine and appropriate. But I think that we have a huge opportunity to
Hmm.
be a trendsetter in real estate, uh, both for ourselves uh, and for communities, right? To create community. But I think
Mhm.
from a financial and wealth building standpoint, man, this is such an amazing
Yeah.
opportunity.
Well, all the building that Patrick talked about on Tuesday at SDCIA's
Mhm.
main meeting, every single time I hear his report, he's adding more and more hospitals and other support things and areas where communities are being formed to come together. And, it's one begets the other. It's just going to get more and more. We're going to get good density. We already have great jobs. We're going to get more of them and more places for people to live. It's just going to keep on compounding. I don't think that I can fully appreciate it at this point, to be honest. It's a
It,
lot.
yeah, I mean, we have the weather, we have like the other things, two things we didn't mention that are huge in Southern California, specifically San Diego, are tourism and
Yes.
the universities. When you look at the three major universities that
Yep.
exist 15 miles from each other, not only for the fact that there are people coming here and economy that's created, but the level of educated
hmm
people that are coming out and staying in San Diego is going to push this market higher and higher and higher, uh, and ideally be more efficient. I wish we could become the first city that autonomous cars. Like, let's go build out in East County
Oh yeah.
and just having an autonomous car lane that takes you everywhere. We don't need the trolley system. We need autonomous cars.
They're coming. I can't wait to see what they do. Urban development will just allow us to live anywhere. Well, on that note, we're going to take a quick break. So this has been the Real Men of Real Estate on KCAA Radio with Jared Kelley. My name is Dan Redig. We'll talk to you guys in a few minutes.